You know, this might be one of, if not my favorite, Ace Attorney soundtracks of all. It's so good. All right, let's pick up. We gotta cross-examine Wario and Waluigi again. So let's see what goes on here. Save complete. Let us resume. If I had to guess, it's probably gonna be a 4 or a 5-parter. Wow. Thank you so much for the host, Rabbit. I really appreciate it. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. How are you doing, Rabbit? Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Well, oh, yeah, Governor. Doing alright, thank you. I did, Gov, I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Gore, blimey. Blimey. This is gonna be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks. I'm not reading all this again. However, that was a lie. You brothers. Blame me. On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We've never done nothing other. You figure it out. Oh my god. You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov, we hear you. We'll blab, we'll speak, we'll squeak, we'll peach. Yeah, Van Zeeks is back, baby. He's the only prosecutor we have in this entire country. Presumably. No, that's not true. A whole truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see, made us both jump and that stuff went flying. Lummy, it didn't have to give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come out of the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scalpered. Straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windibank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. More like we tidied up, yeah. Oh, sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. Hey, you say it. We hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't you make us sound a bit more cutthroat? It can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Miss Windibanks that night. There's more to their testimony that meets the eye, like a transformer, which has not been invented yet. I'm sure of it. And Gregson's over here like, hey, dude. His eyes. Illegal entry, the whole truth. Press it.
Hold it!
That's the case, then why didn't you testify to that fact in the first place? Well, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up for no good. Well said, Ringo, Muir, China. We don't need to land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony. That's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble.
Oh. Well, that's rotten luck. Ah,
Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court now. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
we never ransacked nothing. Right, that's right. More like we tidied the place up. Uh, sorry.
These two clowns.
Hold it!
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter.
Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep its shirt on. Look, it was loud, right? Blimey, we dead granny would have woken up with that bang.
Big.
Meg, bruv here, screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marionette rope, knocked over a picture frame, but knocked them scales on the floor.
You've really mastered working quietly then. Hey Blue, how you doing?
What a racket. My granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise.
And then some.
That right.
It was quiet as a mouse, and then all of a sudden,
Alright, Greggy.
Excuse me.
Doing okay, thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something out of their testimony. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? Probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How would you just tell us what's on your mind? Please tell us, dude. I need to know. I'm so confused. As you know, we brought these fellows into the yard for question last night, and the statement they gave then told a slightly different story as to what they're saying now.
did it?
You claimed you heard the victim shout something out at the gunshot.
Might have, Gov. Might. Does ring a bell now to mention it.
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still, can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony, eh, fellas?
If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than this hitherto proven to be,
I should be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against it.
easy, easy. We'll get it right this time. That's it. Yep, it's all coming back to me now.
Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details you miraculously return to your questionable minds. Sirs.
Right, Jar. Gov.
Thank you, Brad, I really appreciate it. Junie worked very hard on it. It was not an easy commission, I can imagine.
Right. Just before the gunshot, we heard a... Oh, right.
Hold it!
So in fact you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously.
We did, Gov. We did.
Oh no, I suppose if you're being honest, we kind of waver in voice before the end at all. If you don't want to get shot,
If you don't want to get shot,
give me that gun.
What? Kind of thing. What? What does that mean? If you don't want to get shot, give me the gun? Like, what leverage do you have to make that demand? I'm so confused. Career in acting, tragically missed. Where were the voices coming from? Could you tell?
of course we could from the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Winterbank. Oh, the victim, Mr. Winterbank. That doesn't make any sense. Gina had... Oh, no, actually, no. That does... What?
After Granny's life, of course it was.
On his granny's life, of course it was.
I have the same granny. So that would mean... that you both knew Mr. Winterbank and the sound of his voice.
Eh?
So that would mean...
So that would mean what?
What, Nash, what? Any ideas?
Yes, Counsel, indeed it would.
No. We didn't know the geezer.
How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke and all the fancy clobbers give us the evil eye? Not even looking at you. Anyways, if you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On my granny's life it is.
On his granny's life it is. It must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
Make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tidied up after the good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it.
Frickin' Wario and Waluigi over here.
The bloke what owned the... Oh.
We're not. No. I am your mother. I'm your mother. I gave birth to you. I'm your mother.
Objection!
You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That's it, you got the picture.
Yes, Nash, yes, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not in possession of a firearm of any description. Objection! You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken at a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, Counsel.
Yeah, that's right.
Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been able to turn the tables on the girlie. Hardly likely. Oh, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the... What? Wow, it's funny that they actually... Fine, I'll fucking...
Hold it!
You're saying that Mr. Windibank had a gun in his hands. Oh yeah, bet that was a sight.
Bet that was a sight, eh? The two waving them guns at each other must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, I think he'd say, if you don't want to get shot.
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More like an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windibank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. His own, probably. That's someone being, yep, himself, of course. Good grief, extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided.
Man, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person who was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper.
Freddy wished he squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, give me that gun. Directly after those words, you heard the gunshot. It was more or less at the same...
It was more or less at the same time.
What the hell are they talking about? There are two guns now, and he has one, and he's saying, give me the gun?
Then we heard the sound of someone else hitting the deck. Before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up. Lummy, it did not give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter'd come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the
pawnbroker. See?
Oh, yeah, but...
Hold it!
Oh my god. Aren't these two guys just thieves from 101 Dalmatians? I mean, it's just Wario and Waluigi, I'll be honest with you. So you didn't try to open the store and do that? I'm deathly quiet after that. Put the wind right up me. Anyway, the door was locked, wasn't it? No way that was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked on the inside, so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was from the inside.
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of inside the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps?
Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights.
I'd run before we noticed anything like that. Okay. Well, really cut the mustard. Oh my god. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Gina was in there unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
That's right, Gov. That's right. Couldn't have even if we wanted to.
Hold it!
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Yeah, we was a bit hasty there.
It was, naturally, was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss. Good advice.
Truth be told, my mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on the slick winking. Now, after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Oh, well, yeah. But listen, that proves it, doesn't it, eh?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that?
Eh, what? Well, because it's true, ain't it?
The place was totally empty when we went in. And the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these 2 witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbroker. What did you just say? You slipped up, dude. There's no way you could have had a gun to her head if she's so much shorter than him, I don't think. Is that what we're going after?
You got it, mister.
You got it, mister.
Down to a T.
So the Skullhand was never actually encountered Mr. Winterfang. Really true, I wonder. Oh, maybe I'm thinking on a different thing. That's it? That's the fully...
What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce.
Cost some herbal tea of your time? Oh, fine. You're such a logical thinker, you probably laugh. But I feel as though they're still hiding something important. There's nothing more than a feeling, though. I've got no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times, sorry. People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, and the words they choose. You can take all of that, and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why, that's all.
I think you should trust your instincts. Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think she's 10 years old. I must be 5. That's true. For a split second, I thought I saw blood in it. I was wrong, though. Shut up, follow me. fucking silence. You're like, shit.
What was this saying?
Postero-anterior bullet went to the heart. Gently rising diagonal trajectory. Pierced his heart. One bullet.
Objection!
Oh, that's not it. Press the same
Hold it!
actually. Same. I presented this before and said it wasn't a good enough contradiction, so I want to try this again real quick.
Objection!
Didn't penalize me for it. You're saying
Objection!
oh, it's the same thing? Let's see, let's see, let's see. I don't understand what the game wants from me here. Hmm. Wait a minute, let me read something. Read the autopsy again, because I feel like... This is the key.
Hold it!
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. I'm confused, y'all. Unless maybe what if I presented the other picture? Hold on.
Hold it!
Don't. No, the other way, the other way. Oh my god, he wasn't holding a gun. What the hell? That's what it was.
Objection!
Oh, y'all must have been yelling at your screens for that one. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it. That's it, gal. You got that picture. He has not, she has no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not holding a firearm of any description. You what, mate? Gordon Bennett, honey, today.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I'd remind the court that Mr. Windibank's gun was found. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that more jeweler used the victim's own gun to finish him off. With a gun. Bam! Hmm? Right, going to fix.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are, right there. Yeah? Sure. The crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony. It would give rise to an undeniable and insignificant consistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, Counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Yeah, he would have gotten shot from the back.
Take that!
According to their testimony. Witnesses claimed to have heard a shout of, "Give me the gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed. With the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and the attacker would have been facing each other.
however. In the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
But it's the God's honest truth.
It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun.
Something like that might have slipped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Yep, Mia was right.
Nash,
Order. Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
The thing is, it weren't supposed to,
It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the devil.
I don't understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies.
ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we,
Cut it out, Nash, cut it out. You blab now, you know what it'll do to us.
He? Who are they talking? Male Strongheart. Has to be. No, it doesn't. It's not Male Strongheart. You will talk. There's no other option available to you.
Rob, come on, the game's up.
Have our guts for garters.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
When
Do we have to?
On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth.
Encounter with the victim.
Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and even a sigh of relief on the geezer short of smoke.
give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
Our old geezer, the bloke as strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had
nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
They were probably after the music disc, weren't they, or something? So now you're telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
Find ourselves in an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But be honest, Governor, this time,
Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with that. Yes, my lord. This is it, the moment I've been waiting. Alright, so we just had a sire, got inside that gaff and even the sigh of relief when the geezer showed us his mug.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and... Yeah. Who else? So,
Oh, sir, I mean, that's right.
we was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. We never thought no one was coming out of the back room like that.
back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom.
Yeah.
That must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
That doesn't make sense. Does it?
If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at that time?
What that molecule? What that molecule? Couldn't tell you.
No way, Cobber. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Did we?
Oh, Waluigi. This is why I don't. The truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well,
Yeah.
was the victim, Mr. Windibank, wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey lummy. Was he ever? Blimey lummy. A great ugly barrel he had pointed straight at me frontispiece.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windibank with a gun at that time. Is that right?
It is, Gob. It is spot on.
Then all of a sudden he came at us, he did. It was bedlam.
It was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. I mean...
I wish. Ugh.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too.
Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull and whatnot.
Your skull whatnot.
That got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over a picture frame.
Oh, I've read all this already. In fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter.
No. Big, bro. Okay. He did now, she did. If he hadn't been in her book, would have been planting me like bloomin' pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There's a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers saw the scene and back on the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? I did not know that was a thing.
Poor Mr. Windibank, he did everything he could to protect his shop.
I pull me. Okay.
Hold it!
We press it all here, ladies and gentlemen. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windibank?
No, never. I was just, you know, looking out for me, bro, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget.
Oh, by a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun to him. Is that it?
Is that it?
He shoved me away and I ran out through that door and shot himself in.
Something about that last remark. Something that isn't kind of true.
I wonder why Mr. Windibank ran into the storeroom. Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun.
Yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windibank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case,
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? Bruno?
Look, the point is,
Me and me bruv here.
That's right, Nash. That's right. Me and me bro here.
I'll string you up. I will string you up. You say you had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Nothing, girl. Nothing. The old geezer would shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it was, from the inside.
We know it was because we tried to open it. It's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch.
But it wouldn't budge an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The accused. It's Gina Lestrade.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
Oh, no. Is there any... There could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Eh? What?
What does that look for?
From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
It did?
What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windibank? And it's the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to the plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked on the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect to the two conundrums.
Who, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? That's a way to look at it.
Indeed, namely.
Oh.
Sorry.
From what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord.
Are you alright, Runo? Not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure of. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely.
Bigly. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by Miss Lid's lordship. If you believe someone could have killed the victim, indicate from where the person could have fired the gun. I don't fucking know, either the door or the... Maybe out, maybe here.
Take that!
The defense believes the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here.
And in answer to the second question. Oh, he was still in the vault. Okay.
Take that!
Oh, look, they even made him a little round.
Culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom.
Continue.
Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of the blood on the floor, on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death. It tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired.
So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony.
Yeah. Don't flashback to this. Isn't Danganronpa. We don't need a flashback to something that just happened. If Mr. Windibank ran away through the door, you have to assume that the door was open at the time.
Ugh.
At precisely that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, these brothers had the perfect oh my. They didn't do it. Strongheart did it.
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of this trial?
This I would like to flashback to. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means that the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even though the bullet was fired horizontally, it was still had entered his body at an upward trajectory. I never would have thought of that. Thank you, game, for doing that for me.
But the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterbank.
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. You also claim that his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock. But, oh my god. What if someone else locked the door? Yes, there was someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Well then, counsel, present your hypothesis to the court in the scenario as described. The defense of the assertion was that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shot him? The only other person in the storeroom was Gina.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person in the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm inclined to agree, I must say. What say you, counsel?
Yes, that's a tricky one, isn't it?
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Winterbank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Winterbank must have heard the intruders breaking into a shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, then?
That's up. Well,
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Winterbank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And we have to ask ourselves, what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Okay, outside the store was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Winterbank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we'd never shoot no one.
You shot Sholmes, dude. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Herlock Sholmes. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers, had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Winterbank's murder. Are they gonna fall? No.
Where does this leave us?
You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who took over?
I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest.
That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
Most of them were already. I know, first time ever. Probably was.
Well, I think you've done it. Sure, they'll have you give a verdict if not.
Okay. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? The hypothesis you put forward is so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw, and here's to your flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your own logic's failing?
Say, Lord Von Zeeks.
Might be an idea to explain this volley conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, eh? The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets.
Oh dear, he noticed them.
Huh? What's everyone talking about?
Counsel.
Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime.
Oh, tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime.
Two bullets.
Correct. The first, which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, at his arrival at the... Wow. Did not consider that.
Indeed.
The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings.
I'm pretty sure that bullet was damaged. I'm pretty sure that calendar was damaged before Sholmes got shot.
The bullet, which injured Mr. Sholmes, just here past his body, was to strike under. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the Skulker Brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. Oh... You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes.
Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find...
The single bullet was fired from the brothers' gun. Mr. Sholmes, it means.
Winterbank not shot by same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop.
Exactly. Yes, this Nipponi street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny.
Order, order, order.
Well, rip that person. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery.
Lord Van Zeeks.
But this court needs to open its eyes. As I close mine, the accused Miss Gina Lestrade is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from law-abiding citizen. She's a past riddled with criminal conduct. Yeah, she's a pickpocket. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. Disc.
I'll be taking that whatever it is McGilden's none to the yard, thank you very much.
Oh, don't give it to him. That's mine. It is mine.
I'm sorry, miss. Anything belonging to McGilden has been taken as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGilden's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winterbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Gracious.
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on the account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril.
I see.
I think it'd be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence counsel as a written testament.
Lord Van Zeeks,
Inspector Greggs. What? Yes, Inspector? We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. Agreements change.
That's the first time I said anything to Van Zeeks at all.
I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Fuck the government. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
indeed, bailiff.
The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. It rests. There's nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case.
I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Bruno.
My lord, I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden. The answer's barely obvious to me, Lyman. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Oh, I didn't even... He also said, oh no. Ladies and gentlemen.
Guilty.
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 Yeah, the maid's back.
The only new person on this jury, the only person on this jury I did not recognize was number 3.
Time for another Sunny. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. You said it? Oh, you said it. Oh.
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. How dare he used it against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. Still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing I'm absolutely certain of. Dina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We'll proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Our squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on... Yeah. It's a rogue or it's a rogue. Say, different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say this whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
I never imagined this simple operation would cause me such grief.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns. Seemed there's little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the object and put forward by the Shop Black. When I fell apart like a house of cards, thought that I jolly well been hoodwinked.
Any number 6? Yeah, that's villain Bolshevik, I'm pretty sure. But he denies being an insurgent, so you know that's all it takes. All it takes. We actually Ryu actually asked him, "Wait, aren't you villain Bolshevik?" So he did remember. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Ugh, the whole courtroom is turning against me.
It's not fair. That prosecutor's being mean just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past. Does make her a murderer.
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the... Oh, what a poet, honestly. That's funny. Here's to the truth coming out. Eventually. Enough preamble. Council, proceed with summation examination. Yes, my lord. All right. What's a roll? Okay. Press him, press him, press.
Hold it!
Because Mr. Sud has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge?
I beg your pardon?
Are you mocking Her Majesty's armed forces? I will mock Her Majesty all day long, honey.
The greatest military organization in the world.
No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous.
Well, yes, you might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal soul through and through. Can't deny it.
When you say she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this?
Exactly. Tried to cite that only a day earlier. Or am I mistaken?
Yep, let's check the let's check the gun. Green blood. I knew it. That bullet was in the calendar before Sholmes got shot, because that's not Sholmes' blood. It can't be. That's Egbert Benedict's blood. Why is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? All right.
Yes, of course.
Oh, I miss you, honey. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And he ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. Still don't know what tune it plays, do we? Oh, Bruno. Oh, I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. Gilded disc. Could it be a clue somehow? I did examine it.
Hold it!
Number of bullets as you convinced? Only 2 bullets were fired, and 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asked me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. A little sassy. Well, that's logical, I suppose. Although, yes, sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? So I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, we'll have to reconsider my position.
Oh shit, I don't have a third bullet. I don't have a third bullet. I don't have a third bullet. I fucked up.
Take that! Hold it!
If I understood correctly, you'll need 2 pictures one. Exactly, then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions, like this.
So we have 2 bullets. I suppose you can see anything useful with them.
I think you'll find, no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock.
How can you be so sure of that?
Think about it, the Stolken brothers shot the great detective, didn't they?
Yes, it's been mentioned once or twice.
Well then, Shirley's coming into focus now, then.
Okay, surgeon.
Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with the trial, sir? The defense life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say there's nothing to do with the trial, to be honest.
Huh?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet just simply vanished from his stomach. Quite inexplicable, don't you think?
I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on...
What was the fellow's name now? Herlick? No, Hairlock. Hairlock?
Herlock Sholmes by any chance?
Yes, good lord. That Hairlock fella.
Why is everything such a... Jesus Christ. No wonder the man's not dead. First of all, that makes you related to the case, sir.
That's right, using the latest, very latest anesthesia techniques. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you.
It was a fairly major op, yeah. Let me see. The fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. Funny thing is, I went over his inside with a fine-tooth comb and I couldn't find a bullet anywhere. I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes, surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
Counsel for the defense is correct. This is clearly showing this photographic print.
Well, that's not... Huh? No.
I think I am, son.
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying you checked his back?
Of course I did. And
There wasn't a trace of injury. What? What? That's the point. The only logical conclusion is the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards.
exactly what I said about slicing him up. I'm still none the wiser, even now. How many times do I have to say it? Please explain how it happened. Somebody please solve the mystery. Oh my god.
It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. Are you serious?
I need to quickly just...
This one's putting me through the ringer, guys. I'm not... Gotta admit.
Objection!
I want to see where this goes. This is first death. Is it my first? No, it's not second death.
Guilty.
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 Rip. Cute.
Hold it!
Gotta do this again, okay. Oh, duh.
Protection.
For the wrong idea. Oh yes, ballistics expert, look. Ooh, ballistics expert. Eating. B-I-D-D. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, it was assumed the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Turn number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen a very similar situation in Motherland. It was night, there was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold. Holy golly! The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and fell down in the snow. The situation was very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. No sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. If it never hit you, why did you fall down? Bullet hit a frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp. Why did the... Hey Miracle Cactus, how you doing? It broke away from a lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, a piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question. That doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop, not some snowy mountain road in another country. Calm down, Santa. It's an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. True now. Where exactly was Harley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach, sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch, actually, I might have noticed. Yes, a pouch. Where he keeps three glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in investigations. What? Really? Oh my god. Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I can remember. If I may... Lord Van Zeeks? Well, I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside of the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah, goodness, I thought I was getting forgetful from who are. Since then, it's been my safekeeping, along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it's not been touched since the incident occurred. Very well, I'll be extremely unconventional during a summation examination. I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. This is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night. The question is, it's not really a pouch. Look at that! One of the files is broken and the leather around it is scorched black. Almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. It was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. Pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. Nice, I'm glad you liked it, Flarga. Hell yeah.
At least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Due to its bearing on the conundrum to solve, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence.
Hell, these pouches and scrapping. It's not a trench coat.
Now the summation examination. It will appear. Please, my lord, a little more time. Let's see. There it is.
What the? Iris, look. Onward. Yes, that's a bullet. That's the Sculpin Brothers bullet.
Let's do this.
Hold it!
Alright, we've seen all this already before I died, so... Third bullet is the pouch. This case is crazy. I don't really know what's going on, but like it's just getting wild and wild and wild. I don't suppose this will pass the third bullet. Passes for what? Well, I thought I did it. Did I press up the wrong thing? Well, I mean, it's like, it's the fifth case. I completely expect to be pretty lost, all things considered. Oh. I'm a moron. Guys. Guys.
Hold it!
Ignore that. I thought it would have been way more clever if we presented the pouch, but I didn't even see that was in the evidence. I thought they updated the pouch. Here it is, we discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question, when Bank robbery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
Oh, you can hold it? What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to him, and since then has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulking Brothers that night? I know, right? Like, you can't hold it. And why are you holding this? Can't you hold my hand instead? Like... That makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into this court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Winterburn, and that belonged to the Skulking Brothers. Examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. But that must mean... That's right. We now know on the night in question 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Oh man, that was the hottest I've just got shot I've ever seen, like actually. Oh. While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend this. What? You can do that? Jupiter. What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
Can we please get some new witnesses? I am so tired of Wario and Waluigi.
Witnesses.
Governor?
Were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
We was, Governor, we was.
Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble, simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that?
Make of it, Gov. I think nothing on that.
Is it one of yours?
Good blimey, Gov, good blimey, not a chance.
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
What? What? Ever?
The Skulking Brothers work alone.
Just the two of us, that's our trade. Just the two of us, that's our trademark.
How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only two of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms that we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Lummy, that's an head scratcher.
Counsel for the defense. Yes. I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments, the third bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. It's nothing to do with them. I believe that it has nothing to do with them.
Ash, that's right.
Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that one bullet was fired from each of the two guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Winbank pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a third firearm.
It was Eggert Benedict, but also, at the same time, Male Strongheart.
Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the third gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the third man. Yes, the brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun.
An accomplice, you say? Big Swill. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endorse 2 summation examinations.
Well, really 1.5?
Yet in all that time, there's not been a murmur of a third man. This apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed.
Where is this going?
The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts.
He never finishes one.
Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of the spurious character.
I know this.
Well, counsel.
I can do this. The defense is ready. Hey, Westerford, how you doing?
Welcome, welcome.
I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands.
So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting.
Sleepy, me too, buddy. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. And use every single piece of evidence available to me that will make a difference.
In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present evidence without delay. The night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
It's the music disc, right? Oh no, it might be the blood. I think it's this.
Take that!
The evidence is right here in this portfolio.
By Jove, that portfolio again, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific.
Claim that one of those blood samples proved the presence of this third intruder. Which one is it?
It's this one again.
Take that!
There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Green blood, curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some inhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Hurlock.
By the great detective. New invention. Stop. Not yet appeared in stories. Stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. It Olga sprays a chemical that reacts with the elements in different elements in people's blood to change its color.
A Vulcan. Different elements of people's blood.
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Ooh, that brings a whole extra dimension of looking at blood. Talk blood in courtroom. Stop. Very, very exciting. Stop.
As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank. Ah,
A striking blue.
yes, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that someone else was shot in the main part of the shot. Well, finally, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The tearaway calendar, dude. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed. By golly. Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
And then whose blood is it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else, the third intruder, in fact. I know.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder?
Take that!
The man's name is Eggert Benedict. Eggert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about? I can't take that name seriously. Fuck. He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbroker on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Eggert Benedict. I like how quickly he looked. I was like, wait, what? Then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now.
Yes.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Hey, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say, any music box discs too. Yeah, I'm sure you guys hate my my Eggert voice, but whatever. We're going with it. Inspector Gregson was there at the time, and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his right-hand reporter governesses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning. And you claim that this man
Is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Sulkin?
Never seen the geezer before in me life.
On me life, never seen it.
I'm kind of throwing things together, honestly, Westerford. They're not good, but they are mine.
But somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. I can. Give me the music boxes, and show us the evidence. I agree. We must see proof that the cleaner-cut gentleman in the photographs is the criminal you say he is. The last one.
Yes, yes, yes. Enough with the preamble.
Are you present your answer to the court then? So,
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. It's literally this.
Take that!
Here it is. This is irrefutable.
oh no.
Wait, I thought I checked it and it... Did I die? Oh, I must have... Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I did this before I died. That's what happened.
Ugh, that's rough.
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Eggert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. The man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
But of course, here is the disc for you.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. The resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a blood stain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom. Using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio.
I say.
It's green. It's exactly the same color around the as blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Eggert Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that night. Sweating buckets. What are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it's the opinion of the defense for Mr. Eggert Benedict to be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It certainly seemed that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This is flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of the law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist is a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A lot of detection of some sort. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical person in the highest court of in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the blood stain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well. Oh, to be that desk right now. And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he's a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him deal with that. What happened? What, Westford? What? Did I say something wrong? Right answer. Right answer. I knew it would come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. Father Christmas? About how he was the mission examination. Oh my god, be good. Oh my god, Iris, you freaking savage. Ah, in other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Reef, what did you just say, young girl?
And in the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yeah, yes, that's right. Oh my god, Iris, you freaking genius. Holy shit. Yes.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
After that shrewd perceive of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leanings in the matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
What?
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Old man, listen, surgeon man.
2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work. Oh, I know who the surgeon man is. I remember him very well. I recognized pretty much everyone on the jury that was new. I mean, that was not new. The only person who is new that you wouldn't have known before, I think, is the middle dude, Stereoscope Man.
Then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. The trial will continue.
I love how Vorshevik is there. So cute.
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. Sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave himself, Eggert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove the man was there that night. Can I say something? Who is that? Who was that, please? Who's what?
It was me, my lord.
It was me, my lord. You're number 5?
What did you used to say, madam?
If possible. Inspector?
Me, ma'am?
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown.
Right.
Yes, this one you mean, Mr. Benedict.
Yeah, but I'm not very good at the Russian accent, but I tried my best.
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind.
You're number 5, you don't mean to say. You know this man?
Yes, I know him.
What?
Oh, good gracious! Order, order, order! Juror number 5, how on earth?
I'm a communications officer. Stop.
As we can clearly see, the gentleman in the photograph is
Stop.
also a communications officer.
Stop. He works in my office.
I know, right? It's like these jurors should not have been selected. After any, this one I can forgive because like he wasn't supposed to be related until just now. But like the fact that Joan Garadeb was a juror last time, like There are 6 million people in London per this game's own admission, and yet we seem to get the same.
A very talented operator. In fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop tapping away on the telegraph. Stop.
This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right.
I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night.
Yes, I suppose that's it. No, there's something wrong. There's something wrong here.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Seeks, if you please, whip out your subpoenas.
Yes, my lord.
Make the necessary arrangements with all haste.
As your lordship bids. That'd be really funny, Westford. Court recess for 1 hour.
New witnesses arrived. We have reconvened to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson.
Yes, my lord?
I should like to hear from you specifically about the events of the pawnbrokery on that day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
Can I get a health refill this time? That'd be nice. Y'all want another break, do you think? It's been about 2 hours since the last one. Maybe a quick fiver would be good for me and my soul. So... Yeah, this is going crazy. I almost hate to do this, but like I think I'm going to take a quick 5-minute intermission or so, and then just kind of rest my voice, and, you know, drink some water, get a snack, things like that. So I will be back in minutes.